Fox News alert, we're bombing Iran for the third straight night, and oil sanctions and the blockade back on.
We're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We're hitting them. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have numbers that we haven't had in years. And we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens. But we're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits. We're putting the blockade back. And it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. The blockade was probably more effective even than hitting them.
Iran violated the terms of the deal. They agreed in writing not to attack tankers in the Strait and not to charge tolls. This deal was a test, and they failed. So Iran now claims the Strait's closed. It's not. The United States, just like we did with Operation Freedom, is ushering ships through the southern part of the Strait. Every country's vessels can get in and out if they want to, except now for Iran's. Since America doesn't need the oil, the world does, the president floating a freedom toll.
I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping.
No more love taps. Trump says it's time for bitch slaps.
We're hitting them very hard. We had a deal yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was all done. And then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like. And they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing.
So while commercial traffic's being protected by an American security umbrella, at the same time, CENTCOM launching 3 straight nights of devastating airstrikes against enemy targets on the coastline, 140 targets to be exact, coming from fighter jets, naval ships, and one-way attack drones, hitting their air defense systems, radar sites, missile and drone sites, and the Mosquito fleet. And for the first time ever, we deployed one-way attack sea drones. 3 Corsair unmanned sea drones were sent to one of Iran's most crucial ports, Bandar Abbas Naval Base. The sea drones picked off an Iranian submarine, 24-foot speedboats, basically, and they can carry 1,000 pounds on board. They're made in Texas, $1 million a pop. So they were also used to save our boys on that Apache that went down a few weeks back, remember? And that's not the only thing in the water. We have 2 aircraft carriers in theater, the Lincoln and the George H.W. Bush. They come strapped with F-35 stealth fighter jets and Super Hornets. 15 destroyers also operating close by. We still have about 10 to 15% of enemy targets that still have yet to be hit, not because we couldn't hit them, but because we decided to show a little mercy and cut a deal. But the Iranians, they violated it. Why? Well, the decapitation strikes at the start of the war were so successful, we completely fractured the Iranian leadership. And now it's clear that the politicians who signed this memorandum of understanding didn't have the clout to enforce it. The military faction, they don't want peace, and they see their power slipping away. They don't want us to come get the dust. They don't want to make a deal with the devil. And they're broke, and they only have one card left to play, and that's terrorism. Firing on unarmed commercial ships, firing missiles indiscriminately at their neighbors. The president's probably considering another round of decapitation strikes, and we have the intel, sources on the ground and eyes in the sky. We know where everybody is, even the gay Ayatollah. They misbehave, pain. That's why we structured the deal like this. The president's had enough.
We're going to take out Pickaxe Mountain. Tell the Iranians to be ready.
I will.
Let them know we're coming, okay? There's not a damn thing they can do about it.
Pickaxe Mountain is where U.S. intelligence believes the enemy was going to move their enriched uranium at the start of the war. Now Trump's threatening the kill shot and their crown jewels on the table. Here's former CENTCOM General Frank McKenzie.
seizing Karg Island, should we elect to do that. And I would just say, as an aside, that's something we should think about doing, because possession of Iranian soil would be a significant factor in future negotiations with Iran.
Today, oil closed in the high 70s, still down from 120 at the start of this. Gas prices have fallen considerably since spring highs, and the commander-in-chief seems committed to seeing this operation through.
We have the strongest military in the world. You saw that with Venezuela. You're seeing that right now with Iran. For 47 years in a row, they were pushing people around. They're not pushing us around. We're pushing them around.
Jim Hansen, former U.S. Army Special Forces, president of World Strat. Jim, you and I back to Iran on a Monday. Looks like the blockade's back, the oil sanctions slap back on. How do you see these new developments?
I think the Iranians got on President Trump's last nerve with this refusal to negotiate in good faith. And we've heard from inside the country that there are fractures inside both the IRGC and the Council of Experts, their ayatollahs. So there is not any kind of concerted energy inside there. And all of them now have to be considering the fact that the end game for this may be the end of the Islamic Republic if they don't play their cards right.
When you say end of the republic, what do you mean by that?
I don't mean U.S. going in, invading, and toppling the regime using our boots on the ground, but there are an awful lot of people in that country who have had enough of that 47 years of death and destruction, of that waste of their blood and their treasure, and what could be a prosperous nation. They would like something other than a tyrannical religious theocracy running the country, and at some level, I think it might be time for us to say, so would we, and so would the rest of the civilized world.
Do you think you can shatter the Iranian leadership? I mean, like another layer or two layers of decapitation strikes, especially on the military side? Because it looks like the military is sabotaging this deal, and the guys making the deal don't have the juice to enforce it.
Yeah, I think the most extreme elements are within the religious and the IRGC elements. You've got a civilian leadership at some level that we might be able to make a deal with. But the rest of them, I don't see any reason not to start whacking them. Like you said, we've got lists. We know where they are. The CIA and Mossad have been watching them for plenty long. Might be time to return a few more of them to ambient temperature.
What would trigger Trump to do that? Looks like the blockade's back. They can't sell oil anymore. I mean, they can't buy and sell anything with the blockade. And now, I mean, you're going to see day 4 of serious bombardment along the coastline. What takes it to the next level?
I think the first thing President Trump's going to do is own the Strait of Hormuz. That's vital. We can't let them have that. That's their only threat left. It's not like they can say, oh, you're going to blockade, we're going to stop your blockade, line the navies up and, fire broadsides at each other. Their navy's on the bottom of the ocean. They got nothing left but a few mosquito boats, as you call them, and those aren't going to be a problem. So he will take control of that and ensure that oil can flow out for those people who deserve to have the oil flow out. But that shuts off all the revenue again to the Iranians. And he had to stop that because the world's oil reserves were running a little low. And now he's figured out how to do that. If we keep it open by force and they can't get theirs out, solves both problems.
Right.
If that doesn't work, then we go to the next step.
Right. And then that dynamic was what brought them to the table in the first place. You saw former CENTCOM commander on, I believe, Face the Nation, the president watches the Sunday shows. When he talks about going at Karg Island, do you think that's seriously being considered?
I'm not a fan of putting U.S. boots on any piece of Iranian soil other than the secret squirrel types who are already running around doing fun stuff. But putting our troops there in an open fashion just invites short-term attacks. All of their missiles and drones and other things and problems they can cause are there. We don't need Karg Island if they can't get the oil out. It's symbolic. We shut Karg Island down with the blockade as easily as we do by going there and turning off the taps. Maybe send the SEALs in and blow something up just for grins.
Okay. That seems like a very good point. Jim, thank you as always. We might have to see you back here on Monday.
Always.
Secretary Bessent shows me the money. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.